Moving to a new country is a big decision, but moving with a child, that changes everything. Suddenly your priorities shift. You start asking yourself questions you never had to think about before. What's the education system like? Will my child struggle with the language? Will they receive the same quality of education they would back home? For many expat parents considering Central America, the two biggest names that come up are Costa Rica and Panama. These two nations have a lot in common: stable governments, thriving expat communities, and strong economies. But when it comes to education, the differences start to show. So today, let's go beyond the brochures and statistics. Let's take a real look at what it's like to send a child to school in Costa Rica versus Panama. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer picture of which country is the best fit for your family's future. Let's start with public education, the foundation of any country's school system. After all, if a nation can't provide a strong public education, what does that say about its commitment to learning? Costa Rica takes pride in its education system. In fact, it was one of the first countries in the world to make education both free and compulsory, way back in 1869. And to this day, it still invests heavily in its schools. The government allocates around 8% of its GDP to education, one of the highest in Latin America. That funding means that nearly every Costa Rican child goes to school. But does money alone guarantee quality? Not exactly. If you're in a city like San Jose, Heredia, or Escazú, your child will likely have access to decent public schools. Schools where the teachers are well trained and the curriculum is designed to prepare students for university. But travel just a few hours outside the capital and the story changes. In rural areas, classrooms are overcrowded, resources are limited, and while teachers are required to have a university degree, that doesn't always mean they have modern training or up-to-date materials. Even in urban areas, technology is behind. Smartboards and laptops aren't common in public schools the way they are in the US or Europe. Panama, on the other hand, spends far less on education, around 4% of its GDP, and unfortunately it shows. While the government has increased funding in recent years, the reputation of Panama's public schools isn't great. If you live in Panama City, you might find a few okay public schools, but overall, the system struggles with outdated curricula, teacher shortages, and aging infrastructure. In rural and indigenous communities, the challenges are even greater. Some schools lack basic necessities like reliable electricity, running water, or textbooks. And here's something important for expat families to know. Bilingual education is extremely rare in Panama's public schools. If your child doesn't speak fluent Spanish, adjusting to a public school in Panama will be difficult. In contrast, Costa Rica has more bilingual programs. Not a ton, but more than Panama offers. So if you're moving to either country and planning to rely on public schools, Costa Rica is the stronger choice. But if you want English language education or a higher standard of learning, neither country's public system will meet your needs. That's where private schools come in. If you're an expat parent, chances are you're considering private or international schools. And this is where Panama and Costa Rica truly diverge. Costa Rica has a solid selection of private schools, many of which follow International Baccalaureate, US, or British curricula. Schools like Country Day School, Blue Valley School, and Lincoln School offer world-class education at a fraction of what private schools cost in the US. How much are we talking? Between $7,000 and $15,000 per year, depending on the school and grade level. And that's for top-tier education with bilingual programs and small class sizes. Panama, on the other hand, caters to a wealthier clientele. The private schools here are some of the best in Latin America, but they come with a price tag to match. Schools like the Metropolitan School of Panama and International School of Panama follow rigorous international standards, but tuition can range from $10,000 to $20,000 per year, with some schools requiring a one-time $12,000 enrollment fee. The benefit? If you have the budget, these schools provide top-tier bilingual education, better technology, and stronger university preparation. The downside, the cost might be out of reach for many families. So when it comes to education, which country comes out on top? It depends on what you're looking for. If you want a country with stronger public schools, a higher literacy rate, and a more balanced private school market, Costa Rica is the winner. Public education is better funded, and private schools offer great value compared to Panama. But if you're looking for high-end elite international schools and cost isn't an issue, Panama is the better choice. The private schools here are world-class, but they come at a cost. At the end of the day, education is a huge factor when deciding where to move. But it's not the only factor. Things like cost of living, healthcare, and job opportunities all play a role. So before making a decision, think about what matters most for your family's future. What do you think? Have you experienced education in Costa Rica or Panama? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell for more expat insights.